Hello, Algebra 2 students. Today we're going to review what we did right before Christmas. We really need to test over that material, but I know it's been 2 weeks, so we're going to review a couple of things about quadratic functions, and then on Friday, you'll take a test over this same material. So do you remember, let's see if I still have it here. We had this chart that told us how to find the parts or the attributes or the characteristics of quadratic functions from the two different forms. It's standard form and vertex form. With standard form, you're working with A, B, and C. With vertex form, you're working with A, H, and K. So we're going to go through a little bit of review here. Okay, so this is your review, and it says writing tells you what we're going to review. The first 5 problems say identify the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and the minimum and maximum of each. Remember, with parabolas, we have what we're studying right now in Algebra 2 with parabolas is some that open up and some that open down. If they open up like this, then this vertex, this is the vertex, is a minimum. And if this opens down, then this vertex is the maximum because it's the highest point. Okay, let's talk about the parts of a parabola. We have the vertex, which is it's the turning point. We have the axis of symmetry that divides that parabola into 2 equal parts, shown with a dotted line. It always goes through the vertex, always goes through the x coordinate of the vertex specifically. So we got minimum. What else are we finding? Minimum or maximum. So a parabola will have a minimum or a maximum, but not both. Vertex, the axis of symmetry. We can find x-intercepts and y-intercepts, which way it opens, all of those things. All right, let's go. This one says identify the vertex, axis of symmetry, and minimum or maximum of each. So these are in standard form. So you have A, B, and C. So let's look if I can get my drawing tool to turn on here. There we go. And I didn't put a y equals in front of that one. Okay, so we're going to add a little y equals in front of this one. Your A is 1, your B is 16, and your C is 64. Remember, in standard form, it's ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay. If you look back on your chart, it tells you that to find the vertex, remember with the vertex, you're going to have an x coordinate and a y coordinate because it's an ordered pair. This is going to be negative b over 2a. And then this is going to be what you get when you plug in negative b over 2a. So negative b over 2a, and I got the a from here and the b from there. Negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. So that's going to be the first part of our vertex. Then we're going to take that negative 8 and we're going to plug it in for x. And that's how we're going to get the y. And you can use a calculator to do this. You can also see these parts from Desmos if you graph them, and we'll look at that in a minute. So take this negative 8 and plug it in everywhere you see an x. So we have negative 8 squared plus 16 times negative 8 plus 64. Ran out of room. This is 64. 16 times 8. $128, and that's a negative. Okay. Again, you can use your calculator here, but I know 64 plus 64 is 128 minus 128. That's 0. That 0 goes here. So your vertex is 8, 0. your axis of symmetry is going to be x equals 8. It's always, always, always the x part of your vertex. And the minimum, this one, how do we know from this equation whether this parabola opens up or down? Because the equation, the x squared term is positive. That means it opens up. That means that is a minimum. And the minimum is 0. Okay. So let's think about this for a second. 8, 0. So if your parabola has a vertex at 8, 0, this axis of symmetry is x equals 8. That tells you the axis of symmetry. This tells you your minimum or maximum. AOS, axis of symmetry. The x part tells you the axis of symmetry. The y part tells you the minimum or maximum. And we know it's minimum or maximum whether it opens up or down. Okay? All right. Now let's go back. Okay, we got 5 of these. We can do one more. Look at number 2. Number 2, what's A? A is 2. B is -4. And C is -2. To find the vertex, we need negative B over 2A. Here's the A, here's the B. What happens to negative, negative? Becomes plus, plus. That's just my little webcam box, so I know not to write up there. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So with our vertex, we have 1. And then how are we going to find this part? We're going to take that 1, and we're going to plug it in everywhere there's an x. So I have 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 minus 2. 1 squared is 1. So that's 2 minus 4 minus 2. -2 minus 2, it's -4. That goes here. This part tells me the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry, x equals 1. And this parabola, whoops, we're not on that one, on this one. The x squared term is positive, so that parabola opens up. So the minimum or the lowest point is -4. With the axis of symmetry, you must write the x equals with it. You can't just put the number. You have to put the x equals because you're writing the equation of the line. For the minimum, you can just put the number for the y value. Okay? That's vertex, axis of symmetry, and minimum or maximum from standard form. Okay. And you have 3 more to do there. Okay. This one says, identify the vertex and the axis of symmetry of each. What do you notice is different about these? These are not in standard form. These are in vertex form. These are actually going to be easier. So remember that vertex form. Let's do this. Vertex form of a parabola. They're both parabolas, but you can write the equation in 2 different ways, standard form or vertex form. Vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. And remember that the vertex, and this is in that chart on that other paper that you have, vertex is hk. The axis of symmetry is x equals h. So it's the same. Whatever that number is right there, that's going to be your axis of symmetry. Okay? So let me grab my paper and look at this without changing the screen. Okay. So this should be about number 6 or so. says to identify the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Number 6 says y equals -3 times x minus 2 squared minus 4. So first of all, it always helps to identify your letters. I'm looking because I didn't leave a space for my webcam camera. That's all right. Okay, so A is -3, H is 2. Remember, this is x minus H. Okay. K is -4. Shortcut there, the H changes sign, the K does not. So the vertex would be 2, -4, or H, K, axis of symmetry, x equals 2. Always, always, always this number. Okay? Vertex form is really easy. That's why they call it vertex form. You identify your A, H, and your K. Remember to change the sign with the H. And then it's really easy to find the vertex and axis of symmetry. Okay, there's another one there, and another one. I made all of those negative. It's okay, it doesn't matter. So the vertex in all of those would be a maximum because the H is negative. Okay, transformations. Let's think about transformations. We learned these with absolute value. The good news is the rules don't change when you have each letter in that form of the equation. When you change the number in that place, affects the graph in a certain way. This K is the up and down. Plus K means up, minus K means down. This H that's on the inside, in absolute value, it was inside the absolute value bars. You remember we did like this, right? In this case, it's inside the parentheses. The number that's inside determines the left and right. So x plus h means left, and x minus h means right. This A determines the width. Okay. Remember we talked about, do you remember we talked about fractions make it flat? Okay, so if A is bigger than 1, it's going to be a vertical stretch. It's going to make it skinny or narrow. If A is between 0 and 1, 1/4, 1/2, 1/8, 3/4, 2/5, 0.5, 0.3, between 0 and 1, that is going to be a vertical compression, and it makes it wide. And if the A is negative, then that's an x-axis reflection. Okay, quick review of transformations. So look at number 9. You've got the A is 1. So this is 1 times x minus I don't want to do it that way. What's the K? K is 4. Okay, so that means up 4. This x minus h right here, x minus h means right, so we go right 5. There's no vertical stretch or compression because the A is 1. There's no number in front of the parentheses. Okay, what about number 10? You've got this negative is your x-axis reflection. That means your parabola is going to open down. This plus 3 inside means left. This minus 5 here means down. Okay, we'll leave the other ones for you to do. That's transformations. Okay, let's see what else we have. More transformations, more transformations. That one, it gives you the transformation. You're going to write the equation. Okay, let's look at this next part. Write in vertex form the equation of the parabola that has the given vertex and passes through the given point. Okay, remember that vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. And let me see where we're at. Should be number 14. Okay, so to write this equation, we need an A and an H and a K. In number 14, actually, we're not going to do number 14. We're going to do number 15. In number 15, we have the vertex is negative 4, 3, and the point is 0, 19. That would be the y-intercept. You know that because the x is 0. You can use any point. You have to have the vertex, but then you can use any other point on the parabola. In this case, you're given a point to use. What we're going to do, I hope you remember this from before, this is going to be your x and your y. This is your h. Redo that. Remember the vertex is hk? So look, we know what y is, we know what x is, we know what h is, we know what k is. The only thing we don't know is a. We're going to plug these in. That's our vertex form. We know that y is 19. We don't know what a is. X is 0. H is negative 4. K is 3. We're going to use this now that we've plugged in all those to find a or solve for a, and then we can write our equation. What happens to 0 minus negative 4? 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 squared is 16. Don't forget this guy. So I have 19 equals 16a plus 3. Okay. Remember that whatever's in the parentheses there is multiplied by a. Now subtract the 3. And now we have 16 equals 16a. Divide so your a is 1. When you plug it into your equation, this is going to stay y, this is going to stay x. Our a is 1. X minus our h was what? So plus 4 squared plus 3. And actually, we don't need this one. So what did we do? We plugged in the x and the y and the h and the k, and we solved for a, and then we plugged that in and wrote the equation. Okay? All right. Okay. Had to refresh my memory a little bit there, but when we used the 3 points and we used Desmos to write the equation, anytime they give you any 3 points, it says write the equation of a parabola that passes through the given points. We can use graphing technology to do that. And in class, we use Desmos. So we go here to Desmos, maybe. There's video. There's Desmos. And we're going to add a table. Remember that little add button is right at the top. And we hit table. And our x's are 1, 2, and 4. This is number 17 from your paper, from your review paper. We have 1, 2, and 17. No, 1, 2, and 4. Where did I get 17? 1, 2, and 4. The y's in problem number 17. That's where I got 17. The y's are 8, 3, and negative 31. Right, so what I did, I took the 3 points from problem 17 and I typed them into a table in Desmos. Then I'm going to add an expression. When we type this expression, we're going to put the standard form of a quadratic equation in here using x1 and y1 because that's what our table says. Our table says x1 and y1. If we had more than one table, we could have x2 and y2, x3 and y3, and we would use those numbers to match to tell Desmos which table to get the values from. All right, so here we go. Y instead of equals, because this is an expression, we're going to use the tilde mark, which is, you can use it's next to your number 1 on your keyboard, or if you look in the Desmos keyboard and click this ABC, it is here. Okay, be careful. You can't use the equal sign right there. You have to use this mark. Okay, then we have, you know what I forgot? Which Y is it? It's Y1. And then we have AX1, because which X is it? Squared, plus BX1 plus C. Now remember, I want to write this equation in the form AX squared plus BX plus C. Look, Desmos has given you the A, the B, and the C. So our equation for this one would be use your A, B, and C from right here. Negative 4x squared plus 7x plus 5. What did we do? We took the 3 points and we put them in a table. And then we put this. I will stick that video that shows you how to run through this process. I'll stick that up in Schoology so that you can watch it again if you need to. Okay? All right, so that covers 17, 18, 19. Number 20 on your review, it's going to be the same thing. It has, instead of the points listed out as ordered pairs, they're listed as a table. Okay. So you would put this in to Desmos as X's and Y's and put your expression. And that's it. So good luck. These are the exact things that will be on the test that we take on Friday. And then we'll move next week into some more things with quadratics, like solving the equations and complete the squared, fun stuff. Second semester, guys, hang on. All right. Bye.